All right, and we are live. Welcome back, everybody. I have with me tonight the returning triumphant Man of War T-shirt wearing Jason Garlock. How's it going, Garlock?
How's it going, Jim? Thanks for having
Hey,
me
no,
on.
yeah, man,
Look forward to
no
this.
problem, dude. Absolutely. We are doing Predator, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Here we go. There we go. There's a spaceship. That's the first shot in the movie,
Which I
and
I did not expect that. So I haven't watched this. Okay, I'm gonna lose my man badge here, or whatever. I don't care. Like a
go
lot
ahead.
of people are like, oh, I watch Predator like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep my man badge on, the T count. I haven't watched this in like 20 years. I watched it a ton when I was a kid, and I loved it, but I just hadn't watched it in a long time. And
I don't
so
think I've
this
seen
is,
it in like 20, so it's all good.
yeah. Oh, you want to
Oh,
see my props real quick?
yeah, sure thing. Hey, Trembling Colors, hell yeah, glad you're back, Garlock. All right,
Thanks,
heroes
Trembling.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's see what you got, man.
All right, so I have the special deluxe, whatever number 15. I don't know what the hell that means. Predator DVD, Predator 2, Predator 3, never seen. Predator 4, never seen. Aliens vs Predator, never seen. Alien vs Predator 2, never seen. So that'll be fun to watch those. I think probably in the near future.
We're planning on watching Predator 2 at some point. I hear the one with Adrian Brody's okay. I don't know. I bet Trembling Colors may have seen the other ones, but I mainly know about this one.
Yeah, I like number 2 a lot. It
Oh,
has
okay,
like
yeah,
past a lethal weapon in it.
yeah,
Everybody's pissed that Arnold wasn't in it, but it was set 10 years after the first one, where LA was a dystopic nightmare, like filled with gangs and crime and violence. So it was like totally prescient. And
nice.
yeah, I'll watch the rest soon. But yeah, spaceship. I forgot all about this. Like they totally, like right from the get go, they're like, this movie's about aliens. It's like,
Well,
oh shit.
I think this movie is nearly perfect, and I have like one or two quibbles with it, and I kind of think starting off with the spaceship was a little on the nose, a little too much.
Yeah, it probably could have been cut.
Yeah, well, maybe let people wonder what the fuck the alien is for a
Yeah,
little bit,
yeah.
and, and then kind of
Or
reveal it, But
even if it's an alien at first, like what the hell is
yeah,
this? It could be like, I don't. I
yeah,
mean,
make it see it, have us see it more from the cast's point of view, and
yeah.
give it this outsider perspective.
So yeah, I didn't remember the ship, and it totally shocked me seeing it again when I watched it again last night.
Yeah, it's a little
Wow.
weird,
Okay.
a little weird.
Yeah.
What do we got next here? Oh, here's the crew. Yeah, so we got
Yeah.
pretty alpha, pretty alpha crew here.
Yeah. High T count. Like this movie has probably the
Absolutely.
highest T count of any movie ever.
Absolutely. I think my bench
Like
press went
it's
up 20 pounds just from watching it. So
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Lots of legends here, and some like who's this guy? And then the guy who wrote the movie is one of them. So that's funny.
Well, the very next shot by himself, just so we know who the ultimate alpha Chad is. Here's Arnold.
Yeah, with the
Like,
stogie.
like he is dreaming about screwing his maid and
Yeah,
going to Bohemian Grove to sell his souls one day. But right now, he is
cloning
Dutch in this
himself.
movie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
Dutch Schaefer.
he does look pretty alpha, though. You got to give it to the guy.
He was in his prime. I mean, he's probably still like 40, so maybe our
Yeah,
age.
yeah,
But he was in his prime, just totally badass and over the top greatness.
absolutely.
One thing,
Chilling Killer
there's
says,
no. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, go.
I was gonna say I don't think there's an "I'll be back" in this movie.
There's some other good lines, but yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
definitely,
Yeah,
but I don't think he says "I'll be back" unless I missed
uh,
it.
I I agree with you. Trembling Colors. Maybe not have the spaceship. Maybe have a special cut without the spaceship. But everything else is perfect though. Just about. I go like one other complaint. We'll get to it though.
Yeah.
Hey, Arnold's got a sweet Jeep. I like the kind of army man feel going on here.
Oh
It
yeah,
feels
it's
like
very GI Joe.
it's a
Like
very legitimate war movie framing.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
that's pretty cool.
but they're I mean they're mercenaries, or I mean they're not mercenaries, but they all have their distinct thing. They're not just like in the same regalia. They all have their kind of different action figure qualities.
Well, they all have ranks. Does it say? Do they tell us whether are they some kind of like special forces team or are they some kind of mercenary team? I guess.
I guess it's Arnold's rescue team. Like,
Yeah, I
I
guess
guess
so
it's
because
supposed to be a rescue team.
well, because if they're special forces, they wouldn't have a say. Like, hey, when you do this mission, we don't do that. It doesn't matter, dude. You work for us, you know. So I think these guys are kind of retirees. Maybe they read
I
Soldier Fortune magazine.
I think they're active. I mean, they object to it, but they still go along with it. You know.
This is something I should have looked into for the stream, but
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
last
they're
minute.
still active duty. They're just kind of
Yeah,
like,
well,
nonchalant.
no doubt, no doubt. Here we got Carl Weathers.
Yeah, he's the man. He's awesome.
I didn't realize that he was a ball player before he was in movies, so that was pretty
I
cool.
I had no idea. I didn't really do due diligence on this. I didn't watch all my special features. I read some
That's all right,
Wikipedia,
man.
so that's I have ring rust. You know.
That's cool, man. How the hell my full screen here go? There we go. There he's back. The general tells Dutch is looking good, and 18 hours ago we lost a chopper carrying a cabinet minister and his aide, and he needs Dutch and his crew to find them. Dutch asks if they always travel on the wrong side of the border. So from the beginning here, Dutch kind of knows what's up,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Easy
says,
to.
hey, why don't you guys use the regular army? And Carl Weathers says, because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
That's a real Carl Weathers line. You know, that's
It
something he could
is.
have said to like Balboa or like
Yeah.
anybody. Like when he's in one of his like movies where he's the sidekick and not the main guy, like Action Jackson.
I
Hell, he
think
could
the
have said
team
it to the Mandalorian. You know.
could have. It could have. Yeah, next scene here. Here is the maybe most iconic handshake or bro shake, whatever you want to call this in the history of film.
Yeah, I mean, any screenshot that becomes a meme is worth investigating. You know, it's
Yeah,
worth
yeah.
like looking into and
And,
discussing.
and this is kind of a test of strength. Arnold is the alpha of all alphas, and he asks Weathers, "What's the matter? The CIA have you pushing too many pencils?"
Yeah,
So,
except like Weathers in this movie was completely like ridiculously jacked. Like everybody in
oh
this
yeah,
movie was
oh yeah.
ridiculously jacked.
Maybe Arnold was sharing the vitamin supply or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So from the beginning here, we see Arnie and his crew. They're still the boys. Weathers, he now works for the man. He works for the office, and I think that is the where most of the tension in the movie comes from.
Yeah, definitely the delineation between the officer and the NCO, sort of the enlisted.
Weathers tells him you heard about the little job he did out in Berlin, just like the good old days. What kind of shit do you think Arnold was doing in Berlin in the '80s in this movie?
Uh, Hanging out
Some
with his
kind of
mom's
Cold War.
dad. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
I, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Like,
he asked him
I don't really think
what
about the backstories of these guys too much, you know, because it's whatever the movie gives you. But
Mhm.
it's like, okay, he did an op in Germany, cool. Like, I don't really. There's probably a comic book about it, you know, but I'm not gonna read it.
He asks him why he passed on Libya, and Arnold said, "It's not our style. We are a rescue team, not assassins."
And
So,
okay, here's something pretty cool. So this movie was made like 35 years ago, and it was referring, of course, to the botch hit on Gaddafi in like 1986 or something. But like this movie could pretty much take place like now, and it could be the same exact thing, like about the Russian incursion over the border, and like it was kind of creepy
right,
watching
right.
it because it's pretty topical, like right now to what's going on right now, which
So
is kind of
basically,
weird.
when it's time to sodomize Gaddafi to death with a bayonet, Arnold didn't go. He says, "I'm gonna sit this one out. That's not really my thing, guys."
Yeah, he wasn't into it.
But he would have been in Benghazi helping guys out though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a
Oh
next shot
man.
here. Here's the general. He starts explaining the mission, but Weathers cuts him off. Arnie asks Weathers to continue, and I thought that was kind of interesting. It shows that the intelligence guy is above the military brass. It kind of shows how the world works in a way.
Yeah, it's all kind of suspicious from the get go.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Well,
Weathers proposes a simple one-day operation: go in, grab the hostages, get out before anyone knows they're there. And he says that he's coming with them. Dutch says that he and his team always work alone. The general says they'll have their orders, though. The general's kind of powerless here. The general's kind of just along for the ride.
yeah,
He's like, hey, this is Weather's show, and I'm just kind of here to baby face it to get you in.
yeah. He's not really a mover and a shaker.
Here we got the body with his little boombox, and they are rocking out to Long Tall Sally by Little Richard.
Yeah,
I'm
it
guessing
was pretty cool.
I guess they can't afford CCR, and Little Richard works cheap.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was nice not to hear "Give Me Shelter," and all those other songs.
Jesse
of
in
that ilk.
this is just superb. Blaine, what's his name? Blaine something or other.
Oh yeah. I didn't even remember his real name. I just wrote Jesse down. He's
Okay.
whenever you hear me say Jesse the body, I'm talking about this guy here.
Yeah, I forgot all their code names. Like I remember Dutch
I
and
did too.
Dylan, but yeah,
I remember Billy because I don't know the actor's name.
he's Billy in every movie. He's Billy something.
No, is he really?
Yeah, he was like
Well,
Billy
cool.
Bear in 48 Hours. He's Billy Soul in this one. Yeah, he's cool.
He offers Duke, Rob Duke, some chew. Who he declines, and
Yeah,
nobody wants his chew. To which he questions their sexuality, and
he also questions the validity of their jawlines.
Yeah, that he does, and in a way we can't repeat here unless we want to be sent to the digital gulag.
Yeah, we would be canceled.
But he says it'll make them a sexual tyrannosaurus like him.
I don't understand how that works. I never heard of chaw being an aphrodisiac, but that's cool, whatever works.
Poncho says, "Strap this on your sore ass, Blaine." I never got that one before.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dialogue from the '80s movies that could never be repeated now. Like they won't do it again.
Trembling Color says the opening of Far Cry Blood Dragon has you fly in a chopper with this Little Richard song playing. Well, that's pretty sweet. I got to check that.
Cool.
Game
I have
out.
no idea what that is.
It's cool. I think it has Michael Biehn in it, doing the voice acting.
Oh,
and it's kind of this '80s retro, like a retro wave shooter game.
Oh, it's a game.
And,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I didn't even know what the hell it was.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. It's good. Homage.
Later on, he spits on Weather's boots, and
instant disrespect.
Absolutely. Well, there's no respect.
Instant,
for the office.
Like you ain't in charge here. You suck.
And Weather says he has a real nasty habit. Not the most powerful comeback, but he's not a complete bitch.
Yeah.
I do got to say though, Jesse was an actual Navy SEAL.
Yes.
And when was the last time we saw that in a movie? Are there any former Navy SEALs in acting now?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it makes you wonder about the draft and what kind of impact it had on Hollywood and the country, because even a guy like Oliver Stone, who is known as kind of this left-leaning guy, even he went to Nam.
Yeah, even Elvis got drafted.
Yeah, he had a shared cultural experience with a Jesse Ventura over anybody else, and now it's no longer the case. And it seems like we are. I'm not arguing for or against the draft, but it does seem like there was maybe some glue there, amongst the culture of people.
I'm sure there has to be some like esteemed veteran action hero star out there that we just can't think of, or. But I mean, nowadays that stuff isn't really celebrated anymore. Like,
no.
Like the mainstream media doesn't want to hear about like your military history if you're like in the movies or something like that. Like it's weird. Like everything's just gotten just gross.
Well, before Jesse even, I think was it Kirk Douglas was in World War II. I think Bronson was. All these guys.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, literally everybody alive then was in World War II at some point.
Yeah, so everybody you saw on screen playing a badass actually was a badass at some point, and Jesse's kind of like one of the last ones where he was a legit guy.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he's the only one I can think of really. That's that was an
That's true.
actual like Navy SEAL or Special Forces or something like that, or even a veteran.
You're right, right. I can't think of any.
Yeah,
Next shot
I mean
here.
Chuck Norris was a veteran. I think. I think.
Nice.
I don't think
Well,
he's.
even Arnie did a year in the German army. He was a tank driver, you know. So
Yeah,
he
there
has,
has to be some. We're just like anybody watching chime in, like give us some veteran action stars that served
absolutely,
like
yeah.
honorably. I mean, you have Randy Orton. I don't think he counts. You know, he was in
Right, right.
movies, but he's like not. I don't know. Cena was in a
Arnie,
movie called The Marine, but he was a
yeah,
Marine.
right. Well, yeah, they don't have any real guys anymore.
Yeah.
Arnie asked Weathers who their backup is, and he says, "No such thing. One-way ticket. We crossed that border, and we are on our own." Arnie is getting kind of suspicious, and he says that this is getting better by the minute. And
Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, wow, I've seen this like exact sort of dialogue in a
right.
lot of different movies. There's a
Mhm.
lot of cliches in this movie, but they're used to the best extent. They're used properly, and I mean the whole movie's kind of a swerve and like it's off the
Mhm.
norm. It's not what you'd expect, really.
Well, it's kind of like that. This is the alpha version of Dante and Clerks. Of I'm not even
Yeah,
supposed to be here today. It's the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
movie. You know, we called in on the
Well, it's like
scam,
you know
and
Murphy's Law, or like, oh, if it goes bad, you know, it's could it get any worse? You know, whatever.
right, right. Next scene here, we got a chopper. Poncho
The
tells them two men in the chopper, followed by men with American equipment. 1 second here. Then he asks Arnold if he remembers Afghanistan, and Arnie says that he's trying to forget it. The
Yeah, because he was
implication,
probably on the other side.
right, right. The implication being the U.S. has mercenaries somewhere that maybe it shouldn't, and again, we're still fucking around in Afghanistan, man. It's well, we guess we're not now, but you know, it's in the headlines.
Yeah, like this movie, it could have been made today. You know.
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I guess there's nothing new under the sun, as Solomon would say.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Bill is getting a drink from a vine, and he has a strange intuition to go looking over yonder and stumbles across the bodies. This is a bit of a this was kind of a trope back then of the Native American guy kind of having some kind of special power. But
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
was.
got to say, there are probably people walking this earth who do have kind of extrasensory abilities, and it makes sense that they would end up in some kind of elite team. What do you think?
I agree. The thing is, like, that would be considered like offensive nowadays to have
Right,
something
right,
like that. I think, you know, it's like, but I mean, Native Americans did have pretty superb tracking abilities because they
right,
were
right.
ingrained in
Well,
them
that's who
from
you're
youth.
to
Like
it. Mhm.
they're like run through their little boot camps, and I mean, they're taught the ways, and we weren't taught shit. You know, I
It's
certainly
true.
wasn't.
Mr. Colors chimes in. Old Hollywood was full of veterans from World War II through Vietnam. The only modern big actor who is a veteran I can think of is Adam Driver, and he did a tour in Iraq in the Marines.
Holy
Wow, so
shit, yeah. And he's not exactly like, you know, Jesse stature, you know, like
right, right.
Darth Emo or whatever. That's
Yeah,
interesting. I forgot about that. Yeah. Adam Driver.
but he's a legit guy. I guess you got to give it to him. He did
Yeah, I
his
mean, that's
time.
cool.
Next scene here. Oh my gosh. So Billy stumbles across a bunch of bodies. That ain't good.
Ski.
Uh, Pa- Pancho crosses himself because God is not outlawed in Hollywood yet, and then he kicks a buzzard, and Duke tosses Arnie the dog tags.
I wondered about that kicking the buzzard. It feels like you know,
If that was a shoot
was that a
improv,
real buzzard? Was that an animatronic buzzard? Or in 1987, like they just didn't really
right?
give a shit what they did in movies. I think it was
Oh
just
no, no, no.
they probably
You,
just
you
didn't
ever see
care.
that? You ever see that Ultimate Warrior Jake the Snake feud? Where
Oh
Ultimate
yeah,
Warrior's
yeah,
locked.
yeah. With
He was locked in a room
what?
full of snakes, and the Warrior's just kicking snakes against the wall, just mercilessly. Nobody
Yeah.
gave a shit back then. But yeah, there's the buzzard. And where are we at here? Arnie pulls Carl Weathers aside, and he says he knows these guys. They're Green Berets, and he wants to know what they're doing there. And Weathers like, I don't know. He just plays dumb.
Yeah.
Poncho, he's grossed out that they were skinned, and he doesn't understand. Billy says that there was a firefight, and they were shooting in all directions, but he can't find a single track. It doesn't make any sense. And he says it's like they all just disappeared. Yeah, kind of spooky.
Yeah, one thing that's really cool about this movie is how genre crossing it is. It's like it's a war movie, it's an action movie, it's a horror movie, and it's a science fiction movie. Like,
it's also a movie about your job screwing you over.
oh yeah, big time. But
Not like you go to work.
Life.
You go to work, you're making pizza, you're selling cars, you're doing whatever it is you do, and the corporate office sends some guy there to look over your shoulder and make sure you're doing it right. And there's complete dick the entire time. And that's Carl Weathers in this movie.
Yeah, a little bit. Like he's kind of disappointing. Like it's like
he's an office stooge, man. He's no longer one of the boys.
Stooge, like, yeah, it's a bummer.
Well, they find a camp, and Jesse says it's payback time, and he pulls out the minigun. One of the cool features of this movie.
Oh yeah, big time. Like, you know, you could probably like equate each of these characters to a GI Joe figure.
Yeah, no doubt,
honestly.
No doubt.
Like you know, you got Spirit, you got rock and roll here. Arnie will be Duke, Dutch Duke, you know.
right.
So I think there's something there, you know.
We have our
Roadblock,
first shot.
You know, whatever.
No doubt, I agree. First shot of the predator vision. This was kind of cool at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool now, you know. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Mr. Color says, behind the scenes, Arnold was bummed he didn't get that minigun, so he made sure he had it too. You're right. I think you're right.
Nice.
That's probably where he got the idea from.
That's some good trivia, Trembling. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no doubt. We got going on next here. Oh, there's some tension here because Carl Weathers trips and he nearly gives them away.
Oh yeah.
And Duke,
because he's soft, he hasn't been in the fucking field. He's been in garrison like forever.
Duke, who by the way, I think Duke is probably the best actor in this. He lets Carl Weathers know. Well, his eyes are incredibly expressive. He can say a lot with his eyes.
He's in a lot of cool shit. He was in Commando. He's dead tired, in Commando. That guy.
Oh, was he?
I think Duke was in Action Jackson. So
with
like,
Mr.
he has the Arnold and the Carl. But yeah, he was in a ton of stuff.
Well, they have a good dynamic in this movie,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Carl Weathers has a redemption arc, and Duke is involved a little bit.
Yeah.
But here he's pissed at him. He says, "I don't care who you are back in the world. You give our position away one more time, and I'll bleed you real quiet and leave you here."
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
You also get the idea that maybe Duke had fragged somebody before, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does not appreciate the guy from corporate being there sandbagging.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was
here. Arnie has the binoculars out, and just in time to see the hostage executed. It's a very brutal scene. The guy just gets shot in the head, point blank, and Arnie looks legitimately upset. And
this movie earned its R for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Arnold, he does rescue missions. He's a good guy in this movie. He doesn't want to see anybody shot in the head. That's not what he signed up for.
Mm.
What we got next here? All right, they killed one of the hostages. We move. So this is kind of the let's get the boys together and cause some ruckus. And this is kind of the climax of the first third of the movie, I think.
Yeah. When it's still like a war movie or an action movie.
Oh, no doubt. Well, he puts a bomb in the back of a generator or some kind of C4. And because this is an Arnold movie, he's got to work the gimmick.
Of course.
So he does a big deadlift here, and even he's so alpha, by the way. The next scene, even Jesse Ventura was like, "What the hell is he doing? Like, this is unreal."
What the fuck? Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So
Jesse gets all the good lines, man.
He does. He's barely in the movie, but
Yeah,
he's very memorable in it. So even the other muscle man.
To this
go
scene
ahead,
right
Rob.
here where Arnold lifts the thing, I was watching an old Siskel and Ebert review, right? And Siskel like hates everything that's cool, so he's like, "This is just a mix between Rambo and Alien, and I've seen it all before." Whereas you never really actually had a movie like this ever. He thought it was like a total redo of Aliens, but he's like, "Oh, this is all boring and stuff." And the scene they played where he said it was boring was this scene where he like lifts the thing up with the explosion and it like, runs into a bunch of people and blows them all the fuck up. Like, how's that not boring, dude? Like.
Oh, he's never lifted a weight, dude. He doesn't know. He doesn't know this.
Yeah, I like Siskel and Ebert. Rest in peace, but good lord, like they lacked perspective. But Ebert liked it. Ebert thought it was great. Ebert thought he was like thumbs up for Predator for Ebert.
Siskel does not know the riddle of steel.
No, he does not. He does not. Ebert's at least heard it, but he doesn't understand it. But Ebert's at least heard it.
With Ebert, I mean, he's a goober, but there's kind of an integrity to his gooberness, where at least you kind of you're like, you're wrong, and you're for this, and this, and this, but I get where you're coming from, and I can kind of You could read his review and know how you'd feel about the movie, but he was good at his job.
He had consistency. Where Siskel, it's like,
right,
the fuck's wrong with you? Like on some of these, like like really, dude. All right.
Anyway. Just pulling shit out of his ass sometimes.
Oh yeah. Which didn't. I don't know how he died, so we won't go into that. But
that scene here, we got Jesse. Jesse's got the gun out and he's blowing some guy straight to hell. Arnold tells this guy to stick around. That was one of the. Arnold that was straight
up Commando, dude. Like that was the Arnold quip of the movie right there. Like
this next one's pretty good too, though. Where he says knock knock.
Oh,
and he kicks the door
down. Classic Arnold. Yeah. Is this the only one where he does that, or does he? It seems like a trope of his that's been repeated.
I'm not sure. What I like about this character though is it's established that he's a good guy and he likes to rescue people, but once he makes up his mind that he has to kill some dudes, like he's a psychopath.
Oh yeah, he's just gleefully enjoying
himself. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I'm going to kill you, but I'm also going to make fun of you. All right.
He is.
Go ahead. I'm going to try not to do my Arnold impersonation anymore.
Well, someone's got to do it. I can't do one. He is what Jordan Peterson would call the ideal man because he's very dangerous, but he has it under control.
Yeah.
He's a benevolent psychopath, Arnold, in this movie.
Yeah, that's a good analysis.
Here we go. We got Duke tells Dutch that the other hostage is dead, and by the look of it, it's CIA. And the other dead guys are Russian military advisors. Something big was going to happen here. So there's some kind of a scheming going on. Looks like Jesse's is shot, but he doesn't have time to bleed because
he got time to bleed. Yep, and that holds true. He does not have time to bleed,
but he has time to duck. And that's what he does the next scene. What we got going on here? Jackpot. Carl Weathers finds a bunch of papers, and he drops all kayfabe here. He just starts going, "Oh, this is what we actually came for. I lied to you."
Yeah. I was just like, "Really, dude? All right."
And I was like, "This is bullshit. We were used to do your dirty work." And Weathers like, "Yeah, I lied." He kind of gives like a villain speech. Carl Weathers.
A little bit, yeah.
He's like, "Nobody else could have pulled it off." And Arnold's like, so you cooked up a story and dropped this into a meat grinder. What happened to you, Dylan? Used to be somebody I could trust. And he says, I woke up. Why don't you? You're an asset, an expendable asset. Carl Weathers is dropping the red pill on Arnold. Or what
some of the dialogue in this movie is inspired like Jesse's, and some of it is like straight up lifted from like the old action movie like Book of Cliches. Like,
Right,
Used to be
right.
somebody I could trust. It's like, okay, like, but it's still great.
Well, Arnold says that his men are not expendable and that he does not do this kind of work. Well, you kind of just did, Arnold. So it's a little late for that, buddy.
Yeah, it's like it's said and done. Just move on.
Next scene here. Carl Weathers wants to bring this lady with him for intel purposes, and Arnold says that it's a bad idea. But Weathers flexes on him and says that he's still under orders. So I guess Weathers is kind of just begging to be killed now. He's just being a complete dick, and they're still in the
A
jungle.
little bit, yeah, yeah.
It's a
I mean,
miracle
and
that
maybe
he
they
doesn't get
just
pregnant.
needed to have a girl in the movie. Otherwise, there would be no females whatsoever in this movie.
Yeah, well, she's not bad. I don't think she doesn't bog anything down.
No.
Um,
Okay, this is a stretch. I
yeah,
suppose the Predator could be female.
you never know, man.
I don't.
Maybe it's a
I don't
Z.
know about
Maybe it's
Predator physiology.
well, we've been misgendering the predator all these years because we are
That would be
shitlords.
terrible. Oh God.
Well, we don't know, but what do we know here? Oh, there's a sweet scorpion. Duke tells Weathers to turn around,
This was a cool
and
scene.
he does because there's a scorpion on his back.
Yeah.
And
But it looks like he's
Weathers,
going to frag him. It's great.
well, the cool thing is Weathers is rightfully paranoid because he kind of knows he's being a dick.
Yeah.
He probably feels like, maybe I deserve to get stabbed in the back here. But total power move by Duke, letting Weathers know that he has the power of life and death over him. So that was
Yep.
pretty sweet and pretty alpha.
Yeah. No, yeah. Mac is great in this. Duke Mac. Yeah.
Next scene, the hostage gets away, but is caught by Poncho, who says that maybe Weathers should put her on a leash, Agent Man. So CIA man is getting dogged left and right by the troops.
A couple
they
of these
need her
troops I didn't really buy as being hard, like super hard badasses. Like Poncho, I was like, okay, And then Four Eyes, Shane Black. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, you just put yourself in the movie. I get it.
Somebody pointed out that maybe he was a communications guy or a medic.
Yeah,
Could
they
be,
need
could
one
be.
of those. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think Poncho is kind of doing the Bill Paxton role from Aliens here.
Yeah, that
Because
that
he-
makes sense. And Shane Black, I mean, maybe we'll get to that, but spoiler. Shane Black's the first to go.
Well, you kind of need a guy like that to make the other guys look even more alpha.
Yeah, I could see that. Like,
You need a little contrast, So you have a lady guy there, you have a comic book nerd guy there,
yes.
and
So like Poncho, if he was a GI Joe, would be like Dusty or something like
right,
that.
right.
And Four Eyes would be Mainframe, right?
Not the guys your kid wants to run out and buy, but hey,
Yeah.
there's still Joe's, my gosh. So God
Yeah,
bless him.
like you go to the store, there's like 50 mainframes on the shelf. Like, all right, well, I guess I don't
Right,
have them
right.
all. Can I get them?
I don't know what we got here next. Oh, Billy. He stops
Yeah.
because he senses something. He's got like a good luck amulet around his neck. And Arnold asks him what's up, and Billy says there's something in the trees watching them. Very spooky.
Yeah, I really I love the native mysticism trope that you can never see anymore, otherwise known as derogatory word magic.
Well, it's he's a cool character, and he's got his
Yeah.
place on the team. You got to have a
Yeah.
mystic on your team, man.
Yeah.
So the lady here is making sweet eyes at Poncho, and Poncho is kind of like getting flirty with her, and then he eats a big stick to the dome for it, man, and she gets away.
Yeah, I thought this was like complete rookie, like just limp dick status here. It was like, what are you doing?
No doubt, no doubt.
Like, you should know better than this.
That's true. We got going on here next. Tackled by Hawkins, and Hawkins has some sweet glasses, by the way. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, he's the first to be killed, and everybody's justifiably freaked out because their dude just vanished. And Poncho grills her, and she says the jungle came alive and took him.
Yeah.
Poncho and Weathers argue, and Arnie says, "Hey, well, why did they leave his stuff? Why didn't she escape?" And Weathers points out that they did the same thing to the general earlier. And they go looking for his body, and he's hanging in a tree. So that's not cool.
This movie is pretty graphic for the
Oh yeah.
like the skin body. So I was like, wow, is this fucking
Mhm.
Hellraiser or something? Like, cool, you know?
It goes all the way in, man. It earns the R rating, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Next up, Predator kills Jesse the body, and Duke he gets a glimpse of the Predator of his eyes.
So
And
let me say something on the Jesse thing.
yeah,
The Predator, I wish he had a still of that. Like, but so the Predator shoots Jesse with his plasma cannon, his little triangle like shoulder cannon, and just like completely blows his chest out, and it's super graphic. And but the thing is, the plasma cannon like cauterizes the wound, so he still didn't have time to bleed.
there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
good point.
I
Good
stayed up
point.
all night thinking of that one.
Next scene here, Duke goes nuts, and he picks up the Gatling gun, and he gets a hit on the Predator who bleeds green slime.
Yeah, a reanimator serum. Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
they got that out of a glow stick, like behind the scenes. Predator blood is glow stick juice.
One year for Halloween, I poured a bunch of that stuff myself. It was like, oh look, I was in a nuclear explosion, and like I wonder, it's a miracle they didn't give me cancer or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised you're still alive.
Yeah, well, that's what the '80s
One
was,
time for
guys.
Halloween, one time for Halloween when I was a kid, they had the zombie makeup, and like you like mix it up, and it's like this oatmeal shit, and you put it on your face, right? And it looks like it's all falling off. It's really cool looking, disgusting, but I had a rash for like a week after that.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah, it was terrible. Like the '80s
Yeah.
were a dangerous, fun time, man. Let me tell you.
no doubt, no doubt. I want to say this is kind of another mini climax, maybe the coolest scene in the movie.
Oh,
Where you
where
got
they
all,
just blow the shit out of everything in the jungle
yeah, it's pretty sweet.
and hit nothing. Yeah.
And it was pretty cool too because Duke saw, or he just saw the eyes. He didn't know what this thing
Yeah.
is. Like as far as he knows, it's some kind of demon. And his first reaction is, "Hey, pick up the Gatling gun and blow him away, man." You know, he didn't run away.
Yeah.
So
And if it weren't for that stupid spaceship scene, like we wouldn't know either. Like we'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know?
yeah,
But
it
no,
kind
it's
of
like, oh, it's a spaceship. It's an alien with a jet pod. You know, jet.
yeah, it
escape.
took away a little bit.
Yeah.
Little
Like,
little less spooky, man.
I mean, this movie's not called Predators from Outer Space. Like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you get it because spaceships, you know, whatever. But it's in the title. But this is just like something's hunting them in the jungle. Like, can we just learn what it is towards the watching the movie, not just it's a fucking alien, you know?
Duke
Just
he puts his flask in the poncho with a dead Jesse Ventura because they're buddies.
yeah. I kind of almost read a little too much into this, like, because probably because of all the like damnable brainwashing the society has been giving me for the last couple decades. But I think they were just like bro homies, like super tight bro homies. But who knows, you know?
Well, later on, there's a little more exposition explaining it, and we'll get there here in just a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the Predator doing some homegrown medicine with
Yeah,
his,
the Predator
kit.
Rambo. I love it. I love the scene where he does the Rambo self patch.
Next scene here, Mr. Weathers is on the phone trying to get them a lift out and is denied. And Arnie points out that he is just another expendable asset. So
Yeah.
he kind of flexes on the corporate staff.
But both of those scenes are like in every combat movie ever, you know?
Well,
Like,
that's probably
let's
where
get a lift out of here.
Stallone,
We can't, you know? We're expendable.
that's probably where Stallone got the not this movie, but that thing, the
Yeah.
Expendables. You know.
Well, I mean,
So
going back to freaking John Wayne, they were expendable, you know?
which
It's
movie
like
was that
every
in?
war movie ever. It was like 40s.
Okay. Weathers asks Duke what hit us today. Duke says he doesn't know. They're camouflaged. Poncho asks Billy what he thinks. And Billy says that he's scared because there's something out there waiting for us, and it ain't no man. And then
Yeah.
adds that we're all gonna die. Well, that's kind of a thanks a lot, Billy. Good for morale there, buddy.
And I mean, he wasn't really 100% correct on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He didn't count on Arnold being the ultimate alpha Chad.
Yeah. Not that Arnold survives all of his movies, but he
Right.
survives most.
Here we go. Duke. He's talking to the moon, and he talks about how him and Jesse the Body's entire platoon of 32 guys, interesting number
Oh,
there,
yeah, yeah.
got killed except for them who escaped without a scratch. And he
Yeah.
swears to avenge him.
Yeah.
So
That was
they're
very like Frank Castle type stuff right there, you know?
oh yeah, this is great. I wonder if this is in the original script or if they just wanted to give Duke something to do.
Who knows? But yeah, he's great in all this. Like you see him just cracking up. Like did you pass the scene where he's like shaving? Like he's totally clean shaven, but he's like running the razor on his cheek, and it's like just cutting it in. Like he's totally cracking up.
And it makes you wonder, was that ad libbed? Do you think that was just kind of a
like an ad lib? I don't know.
A pig busts across their perimeter, and Duke goes after it with a knife. And while this happens, Jesse's body gets stolen. And Arnie asks the prisoner lady, "Hey, what do you see?" And she replies in perfect English that it changes colors like a chameleon.
Yeah.
When the big man was killed, its blood was on the leaves. And he says,
I kind of think it's funny that I kind of think it's funny when Mac is killing the pig and they all like see him doing it. They kind of goof on him like, you killed the pig, dumbass. You know, it's like with all this shit going on, it's like, why are you cracking up, Mac? Like we're all getting picked up like God knows what, and there's like people skinned alive. Come on, this is like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like this, we're good, man. You know.
That was a little bit
Dylan's
odd.
like, oh, it's gorillas. It's like Dylan's in denial the whole time. Like, no, it's just dudes, you know. Okay.
Well, I got to see Arnold. Arnold does get the line, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." So Arnold does get one of the better lines. So maybe him and Jesse are even in terms of the good dialogue in this movie.
Nothing beats the forbidden the chaw. The chaw line is the best line in the movie.
Right.
It 100% is. And for those of you watching, just Google it. It's on YouTube. Just watch it. We're not going to recite it here. We will get canceled.
I also like Arnold's positive thinking, whereas Billy's like, "Oh, we're all going to die." Arnold says, "Well, if it bleeds, we can kill it," because Arnold has the positive mindset, man. Because he's the man.
And yeah, that's definitely a good point. It's like this thing's not indestructible. Mac's cracking up. Like everybody's kind of like, "What the fuck," you know? But it's like, okay, this is doable. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Dutch is unfazed, man. He's all about the mission.
Oh yeah.
And we got a dope montage of the crew making some ultra primitive traps, and they're kind of having to dig deep into their primordial nature to fight this thing.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Again, you know, Rambo. You know, you see.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And here we got the corporate. Oh, go ahead. What are you saying, Garlock?
A quick analysis of this movie for me, and I should probably save this for the end, but like nothing in this movie by itself is original, but the way everything is like molded together is completely original. So
yeah, absolutely, man. It's kind of it's postmodern, man. It's pomo.
Yeah, I mean it's the world's most dangerous game, but with an alien, right?
Yeah, it totally is. It's kind of the most dangerous game turned to 11.
Yeah,
because in that game you have the decadent elite who get their kicks by hunting down just regular schlubs, and this is kind of that turned up to a galactic scale where the elite are literally alien monster people.
Yeah.
Here we have Mr. Weathers, the stooge. He's saying, "Yeah, you really think this Boy Scout BS is going to work?" So
what
again,
the fuck would you do? Why would you not try this? You know, it's like, let's just stand here and die. You know, like, what's wrong?
Yeah, once
with you,
again, man, you're at work mopping the floor, and the guy who's never there shows up and is like, "Oh, you're doing it wrong." You think he's just being a dick.
Yeah, he's so wrong-minded in this movie, and it makes me sad because I love Carl Weathers so much.
Well, here Arnold says instead of complaining, maybe you should help. And to his credit, he
Yeah,
does.
yeah. Again,
Yeah,
you got the elite and the proletariat. You know, you got
yeah.
the officer and the enlisted.
There you go. There you go. Next scene here, we got. Oh, there we go. There's Duke shaving.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you got this because this is like
Oh yeah.
great.
Oh yeah.
So sorry for spoiling it, peeps.
Oh, no problem. I think they've seen it. Anna mentions that when she was little, men in her village were butchered during the hottest years. And she describes the predator as the demon who makes trophies of man.
Yeah,
So
which
the predator has been
means
here
it was
before,
there before.
I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Kind of
so
weird.
check this out. They're making another one. They're making a new Predator movie that's coming out, I think, this year, but it's called Prey, like Prey, and it's
weird.
like that's not going to make any money, guys. Like, that's not how you do it. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a prequel, so it might be like that thing, like the first Predator on Earth.
Could be. Could be.
Does
So
that
I guess.
yeah,
Well, this predator
shoot
kind
legs
of.
and-
You get the idea that the predator likes worthy prey. So
Yeah,
he kind
definitely.
of he hit the jackpot just by luck that the most elite special forces team on the planet just happened to be here this time. So
Yeah.
this is like his Christmas, basically. All right, here we go. Next scene. This is great. Poncho kind of transforms from like, hey, you know, he's kind of a badass guy. He's got the cool paint, and he looks like a scared little boy here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's doing the full on Bill Paxton. Phenomenal acting and direction, and yeah, what a great movie.
Yeah. I don't think we even mentioned it. Like directed by John McTiernan, who next
Yeah,
year, the year after this, does Die Hard. And
he's
and
an
he's one
interesting
of those
guy.
like cool action guy directors that's just disappeared. Like they probably won't let him have work anymore because he's badass, you know.
Well, he was involved in
So
some shenanigans, according to his Wikipedia page.
ah,
So
anything
he's in
gross?
just weird. He's in
Uh,
timeout right now, I guess. So anybody can go check
okay.
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I just figured he was like in the John Milius like whatever blacklisted camp. Like you know,
maybe
you
he
make
is
cool
there too.
movies and you might be based, so you're not allowed to make movies anymore.
Could be, man. Could be. Next scene here. Here's is that the Contra box art right there?
Yeah, yeah, that's and it's I mean, if I had the regular DVD, that's the scene, the shot.
McTiernan went to prison for tax stuff. Pay your bills, guys, or you won't be allowed to make any more
Yeah,
sweet movies.
man. Was he sharing a cell with Wesley Snipes? You know,
I guess so. Arnie just goes out looking for the predator, and it sets off the trap and gets caught in a net. It escapes the net and sets off when the log traps, which wipes poor Poncho out. So Poncho gets wrecked.
yeah, he bites it hard. So interesting thing about Contra, right? That's the Contra box art, except the arcade game of Contra came out before this movie, like a
Okay,
year before. So I think they sort of inspired each other. It's really weird.
that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Weathers sees the demon, and this is kind of Carl Weathers' come to Jesus moment, where he kind of
Yeah, big time.
he becomes one of the boys again, man. He's no longer a stooge after this.
You know, he goes out fucking hard, dude, like a champ.
Oh yeah,
Like he
oh
really
yeah.
does.
Oh, here he is again, peekaboo. And Duke goes running after the predator, and Weathers says that he's going after him, and Arnie says, "Hey, that's not your style." And Weathers says, "Well, I must have picked up some bad habits from you." So
Yeah,
Weathers is on. He has a redemption arc here. He's been
yeah,
a dickhead the
definitely,
whole movie.
definitely. I mean, he's maybe figuring, well, I got them in this shit storm.
Right.
You know, maybe I'll help out.
Duke bursts in the song. He starts singing Long Tall Sally." I don't know why I say long tongue. Long Tall Sally.
Totally
Do you
cracked
think
up. Yeah,
this might have been ad lib too?
yeah,
That
maybe
or maybe
yeah.
maybe McTiernan was like, "Oh fuck it, we paid for the rights to this song. We might as well squeeze it in there again."
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool though. It was
Oh yeah,
called, and I guess I didn't mention it, but like when they blew away all the gorillas, it just showed like the extreme elite nature of this team. Like they're unfuckwittable,
yeah.
until they meet this weird camouflaged one guy in the forest, in the jungle.
Here is Carl Weathers looking totally jacked, and he finds Duke, who says that he's found the predator, and they both agree to take the predator because they have scores to settle.
Yeah,
And it doesn't last long, man, because there's the Triangle of Doom.
yeah. What's interesting here is it looks like in the movie that Mac's head is just completely blown the fuck off, like just
Mhm.
exploded, like in scanners. But then later on, it shows his body and like his head's pretty much intact. So I don't know.
Oh, that's weird. Well, plus if you
But
blow
I
off
mean,
the
was
head,
there sort of like an outward splooge of blood, like with Jesse when he got toasted?
um, I think there was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
if he blows up their head, you can't get them as a trophy, right?
I guess not. Yeah. So it looked like it was like that one Tom Savini shotgun blast in that movie Maniac, like that. What it
Right.
looked like. It's just like holy shit. Damn.
Next scene here. Arnie tells Anne not to pick up a weapon because the predator didn't kill her because she's unarmed and there's no sport in it.
Yeah, and I mean that's a nice broad assumption. Like I guess it works, but it's kind of like the thing later that you're going to discuss that we both agree is kind of like stupid. But
Right,
yeah, I
right.
mean that's he doesn't have too much reason to like think that way, but I guess the predator didn't blow her up yet, so I guess that's good enough intuition for that, maybe.
Mr. Cutler says, I think the head thing is a mistake. They just hope nobody would notice. His head definitely should have been mush. I agree. I agree.
Thank you, Trembling.
Next scene here. What do we got? Oh, that's Mr. Weather's arm.
Yeah,
He gets shot off.
yeah, and that's not it for Dylan. Like he doesn't just bitch out. He doesn't just fall down and die after that.
Then he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Next scene here. Billy throws down his arms and he cuts himself. He is going to fight the predator mano a mano.
Yeah,
It-
this
it-
is another cliche. It's wonderful. It's brilliant. It's another cliche.
It's as good of an idea as anybody else has had, at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not go down fighting, right?
This movie's like a bunch of like puzzle pieces that are the same in like a bunch of other puzzles, but put it together and it's this brilliant thing called Predator.
Oh, it's like, how would you rather die? Like Billy or like Poncho?
Yeah,
right?
Billy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how do you want to be remembered, I guess, as the other thing, so.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Billy from 20 years ago when I last saw this. I didn't remember Poncho.
Right. Next
Before
shot here. Arnie says, get to the chopper, of course. There is a good 3 to 5 minutes of some good symbolism here coming up. I didn't expect there to be so much in this movie, but it's all concentrated in one part of the movie, so I think it's deliberate. But you have Arnold going off a cliff, and he kind of like this is kind of his descent into the underworld in a way. And he even crawls up and crucifies himself.
Yeah.
Kind of like Odin did, And,
Yeah. Sacrifice of himself to himself.
On the world tree, and he does it. He does this, and he gains knowledge. He gains knowledge that he can't see when he's covered in mud. And in case anybody in the audience is an idiot, he's like, "Oh, he didn't see me." I was like, "Thanks, Arnold. Thanks for spelling it out."
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it could mask the heat signature, but I mean, wouldn't he have to cover pretty much every pore? I mean, and like keep it slathered on and have to be like really, really cold mud. I don't know. I mean,
it's a little dicey.
Yeah,
it's a little dicey.
It's memorable.
Here you have the Predator kind of shorten out a little bit.
Oh yeah, his holograms glitching.
He is kind of the species that he belongs to is kind of merged with technology. They're kind of trans alien, I guess you could say, and they're
Yeah,
very reliant on technology.
I don't know jack shit about the predator lore. I'm sure they
Right.
have a species name. I'm sure they have all this shit, planet of origin. I have no idea. I have no clue.
Next scene here. Oh, we got a little bit of the one-eyed monster, the demon of technology here.
I really dug those little the little triangle laser pointer thing.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. The
Very iconic.
very very triad-esque, I guess.
Yeah.
Next scene here. Oh, here's Arnold going. Oh, you can't see me because there's
Yes.
one
Yeah.
guy.
So yeah, this scene it shows the predator like kind of sniffing around him and like kind
Right.
of looking around and looking around. Then he walks away, and then Arnold's like, "You can't see me." It's like, thanks for that. Thank
Very
you.
very small flaw in an otherwise perfect movie.
Yeah, that and a fucking spaceship.
Yeah. Here Arnold, he kind of approaches the tree almost like an altar. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Is the more Odinism there?
Just kind of, I think he has to reach down to the primitive man inside him to defeat the technological demon, I guess.
Yeah, I could
It,
definitely see that. Like, I mean, at this point, Arnold like he's doesn't really have any weapons or anything. He's like
right.
he's had to slosh around and like he falls off like 3 waterfalls. He's like almost drowns, covered in mud. Just accidentally he happens to like mask his heat signature. Like totally like, oh look, this happened, you know. And then he learns from it and he survives.
Here he is making some sweet traps.
Yeah, I love the trap montages in this movie. They're cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I always love trap montages.
There's poor Billy's skull. Billy is now a trophy.
Yeah.
Poor Billy.
I
There's
thought it would have
Arnold.
been cool if they actually showed the fight between the Predator and Billy, but you know, just the scream. It's like 2 seconds later too, so you know he
Oh
goes
yeah.
off like a bitch. You know, Predator just like sticks him and he dies.
I thought this was another cool scene. You kind of have the Predator with the skull and a very memento mori kind of death worship kind of
Yeah.
ritual kind of deal here.
Alas, poor Who Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And Arnold here is underneath the full moon.
Yeah. Arnold goes like pretty much 100% like feral instinct at this point.
Tarzan, man, very, very
Yeah,
Tarzan.
he's just like fuck this guy, I'm gonna kill him. Like he's just full on like frothing animal, which is kind of cool.
Full moons mean different things in different cultures, but it can mean a fullness of power. They signal completion, uh, illumination of the knowledge of death, maybe because we have the moon scene juxtaposed with the skull scene with the predator. So they're both kind of engaged in death rituals, and
That's
the
that's a
kind of him.
that's a good find there.
Well,
I can follow that.
to really drive it home, you even have him holding up the torch with one arm, Statue of Liberty style, and for illumination.
Yeah.
So he's gone to the underworld. He has crucified himself. He has gained the hidden knowledge, and now he is illuminated. And I'm gonna kill you, Predator. You're going down, homie. Because
I don't know. It's
Arnold.
almost too esoteric for me, but yeah, no, I dig it. I dig it.
Well, it's all in the same 3 minutes when there's nothing else like that in the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it just seemed kind of a. I'm guessing it's probably just a cinematographer working in some cool shit he learned in film school.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
probably
know.
wasn't McTiernan. Maybe it was probably just like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and put some little bit of
Well,
subtle imagery, you know.
what's his name? The glasses guy, the script doctor.
Oh yeah, Shane Black.
Yeah, he's a big comic guy. I could see maybe him working that stuff in here.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
mean,
out of place in the rest of the movie.
yeah. There's definitely some like Joseph Campbell shit going on here, you know.
Hmm. And where are we at here? Yeah, this is a very John Milius kind of feeling scene.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's the vibe I got. It's like, man, this feels like almost Conan, but very,
yeah.
very Tarzan-esque. The yell he lets out.
Yeah,
And he even swings on a vine later on. He's kind
yes, he
of gone
does.
full Tarzan.
Yeah, I really
Because
equate that, but yeah, totally.
isn't Tarzan supposed to be the ultimate like primordial man, like the ultimate alpha male or some kind of deal?
Yeah, makes sense.
Wasn't that Edgar Rice Burroughs who did Tarzan?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember when I was a scumbag like 20 years ago, like hanging out with all these like literati douchebags, and they'd be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, do you read Burroughs?" And they'd be talking about the junkie, and I'd be like, "Yeah, dude, I love Tarzan." You
That's
know,
true.
they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I love fucking John Carter.
I,
Like,
well, I
ugh.
think Tarzan's a lot cooler than anything William Burroughs ever wrote. Just a bunch
Oh,
of
for sure,
gross
for sure.
dudes picking their scabs and doing heroin and trolling
Yeah,
and
it's
shit.
gross.
Yeah.
I never got into that scene, man. It's just yucky.
Another cool scene. Arnold starts a funeral pyre in a way, and I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
sweet. But it's not
yeah,
for him. It's not for him. It's for the predator. And then he swings in a vine. And going back to things like Arnie and Stallone kind of borrowing from each other, he makes the
yeah.
explosive arrows in this movie. Do you think Rambo took that from Predator?
Oh, the explosive arrows, I think, were before this. They're in Rambo First Blood Part 2. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah,
So there
but
you go.
there's all sorts of weird like history with those movies and other movies. Like the Rambo script was leaked, so like Canon like made missing in action like super quick with Chuck Norris to like get ahead of it. So
So
it came out
Arnold,
first.
Arnold and Stallone were kind of like the Beach Boys and the Beatles, or I guess some other iconic um,
Yeah,
opponent.
I'd say like the Stones and the Beatles, or the Stones and the Beach Boys. So like Sly would be the Stones, and Arnold would be the Beach Boys because Arnold hangs out with devil worshippers.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate, man.
yeah,
Uh, the
yeah.
the
It's a bummer.
the predator just kind of nukes everything in the forest, and they kind of play a cat and mouse game here.
Yeah,
Arnie hits.
there's
Oh,
some
go ahead,
points
Jason.
in this where I'm like, how the fuck is Arnold even still alive? You know, like okay,
What-
when the predator like blasts his gun out of his hands, like how the fuck does Arnold still have arms? It was like
That's
one of
good.
those old like westerns where you shoot the gun out of your hand. It's like, oh, I'm fine, my fingers are
Right.
still there. No problem. So yeah,
He,
Arnold's like pretty much indestructible at this point.
he has luck on his side. Maybe it's Billy from Beyond the Grave. His spirit
Yeah,
is.
he's giving him spirit juice.
It could be, man.
Fuck, man.
Next scene here. Arnie falls in the water and his mud falls off. So much for his illumination, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but instead of killing him, the predator takes off his weapons and armor.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Garlock.
I kind of thought this whole like final scene was really like drawn out and kind of over
Mhm.
like too long, of Arnold getting his ass kicked and almost dying, and the Predator, like, yeah,
I'm going to say that the predator did not have the best working punches. They look kind of silly.
yeah,
They,
those
they have,
those are mad corny. Yeah, those are mad corny.
that was straight up Shatner fighting the lizard guy. Kind of
Yeah,
stuff going on
yeah,
here.
and yeah.
Oh well. Next
Well,
scene here.
if the original person that was supposed to play the Predator was actually played the Predator, then the punches would have been maybe a bit more realistic, as well as the kicks, because it
Good
was
old Van
originally
Damme.
going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, yeah, which is
Well,
fucking crazy.
the original Predator looked like shit though, man. That was terrible. I think that would
Yeah,
have tanked the movie.
I don't even think I saw footage of that. I don't know, but yeah, the guy who
Oh,
played the Predator, Kevin Peter Hall, he also played
yeah,
Harry and Harry and the Hendersons, and
nice.
I thought like he died early, but I thought he died of like things relating to gigantism, but he didn't. He died of AIDS from a blood transfusion.
Oh well, damn.
So that's it's
That's
a
too bad,
bummer.
man. The dangers of the '80s, man. Dangerous time.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Damn. What the hell was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say the original Predator looked like Jar Jar Binks. He looked
Oh
awful.
shit.
Like I think it would have ruined Arnold's career if they'd had the original one in there. This guy looks pretty sweet though. He looks like
Oh
somebody you might
yeah,
want
no,
to
I, I
find in the
I
jungle.
love I love the whole and he plays also in Predator 2, so it's the same guy playing
nice.
a different Predator in Predator 2. Yeah.
Well, Arnie lures him into one of his Boy Scout traps.
Yeah.
And I like this too. He more Tarzan dude. He straight up quests for fire here. He's got the big giant boulder over his head, and he's going to just bash the guy's brain in.
Yeah. No, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Mr.
Very
Keller
visceral.
says the original Predator looked a lot like those robot aliens from The Fifth Element to me. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
Okay.
This
Fifth
is a very
Element's
different movie from
rad.
Fifth Element, though.
Yeah.
that?
Fifth Element's fucking rad. It's been a long
No,
time
it's
since
sweet.
I've seen that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
We got here. Arnie says, "What the hell are you?" And the Predator repeats it back to him.
Oh, so little trivia here before
Yeah.
Trembling beats me to it. Do you know who the voice of the Predator is? Who portrays the
not.
voice of the Predator? Peter Cullen.
No,
Optimus
okay.
Prime. Yes.
That's a strange connection, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got around, I guess.
Yeah. It's way down on the credits, like vocalization. It's Peter Cullen. I'm like, what the fuck?
I also got to say, the Predator, who's like the ultimate sportsman, even to the point of like, oh, well, I'm gonna take off my weapons and armor, fight you man to man now. Now that he's losing, dude, he's like, oh, I guess I'm gonna nuke you now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
you're beating me,
he
Gold
gives
Knight.
him a chance. It's a countdown, you know.
That's true, he does. But it's definitely kind of the guy who he's losing on the Xbox, so he unplugs it or he knocks over the
he's a controller thrower.
Yeah, the Predator's kind of a bitch here, man. I got to say, bitch move by Predator.
Well, okay, so I mean, maybe that's part of their thing. Like, okay, I lost. I'm going to self-destruct, and if you manage to survive it, then good for you. But I mean, he doesn't want to go home in shame, you know, or not go. You know, I mean, he's dying.
Yeah.
So
Well, I like how there was like a mushroom cloud.
Yeah, but like,
Arnold's fine.
I was like, why is that a mushroom cloud? Why did they make that a mushroom cloud like that?
He ducked and covered. That's what he did.
Yeah. He put his blanket over his head. He's been taking his radiation pills. I'm like, fuck. That's like Indiana Jones in the fucking fridge or something, you know?
Yeah.
Which I haven't even seen that one. I just heard about it. I'm like, oh my God. So he puts himself in a fridge to survive a nuke in Indiana Jones, the fourth one, I guess.
Oh, here we go. Mr. Keller says it's being a bad sport, but it could be that they don't want their technology taken by humanity. So the Predator has the prime. He has the dickhead prime directive, basically.
That works for me, Trembling. Yeah, totally. Maybe you should be on here instead of me, man.
Hey, maybe what they're doing isn't even legal. Maybe like this is illegal hunting the Predator's doing.
I mean, since every predator ever is a hunter, I think it's probably
that's true,
okay for them. You know,
I forgot. Yeah,
it's probably part of their societal makeup.
I forgot they made 8 more movies, so I guess you got a good point there.
Yeah, I got to watch the rest of them so I can actually learn some more of this shit. You know.
Here we go, Mr. Shane. Is it Mr. Black? He's reading Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a good comic too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Didn't Enos make a run of Sergeant Rock?
They would not allow him to write it. He wanted to write it. They would not allow him to write it.
Well, that's lame.
And another funny thing, Arnold was actually optioned, like he was going to play Sergeant Rock in a movie, which I think was going to be directed by McTiernan, and it was supposed to come out like shortly after this, but it never happened. Could you imagine Arnold as fucking Sergeant Rock?
That'd be sweet, man. Now here's
I mean, I don't know how well it would have worked. You know, it's like we got to kill the crowds. You know, it's like okay.
Right. Well, here we get another shot of him and Jesse both reading the Sergeant Rock.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. And I think that
I like these end credits. These little montages, like, hey, we're okay. We're reading comic books.
So with this movie out of the way, where would you rank it in your top 5 Arnold movies?
Oh man, I was gonna ask you. Also, I was gonna ask you, like, what is your favorite Arnold movie that's not Conan the Barbarian?
All right,
but
Conan's number 1, I guess.
Yeah, I'd put this. I mean, it's weird because I haven't watched it in so long, but it's super solid. It's great.
Oh yeah,
it's derivative of everything. Yeah, I'd say this is in the top 5 for sure. Yeah, this is
I
top
would
5.
say either 3 or 4, with T1 and
Yeah,
T2 being 2 and 3 interchangeably.
yeah, they're in there. This one, Conan, of course, and then number 5. The thing about Arnold is weird. It's like when his movies are like bombastic and over the top and filled with like the lines and stuff,
Hmm.
then they're prime Arnold, like this one. But I just watched Red Heat a while ago, and I was like, it's all right, like
Right.
James Belushi's his partner, like wisecracking cop, but it's like I don't buy him as being like an action star or a cop or anything. Like
Right. Right.
it was just kind of gross seeing Belushi like running around with Arnold. Um, yeah, that's definitely top 5. Maybe Conan, Terminator 2, this, and fucking I'm just gonna Running Man, whatever, Running Man.
Okay. I would have Total Recall in the place of Running Man, but Running Man would
Okay,
be like
yeah,
number 6. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Verhoeven and Arnold, that was a good combo for
All
sure.
right, no doubt, no doubt. So yeah, basically 5 out of 5 movie. It's got like a
Yeah,
couple minor like flaws, but all this movie rules. Everybody should see it, and yeah, it's pretty
100%.
sweet.
Highly recommended. 2 thumbs up.
Anything else to add here, Mr. Garlock? Or we wrapping up?
I guess I need to watch all the rest of this, so like the next time we do one of these, I actually know what I'm talking about. But,
That's cool, man. It's a standalone. We don't need to watch all 8 Predator movies just to talk about one Arnold movie. So
yeah, I probably will though. I mean, I'll let you know how it goes off camera.
sounds good, man. All right,
It melts my
everybody,
brain or
thanks
something.
for. Yeah, it could. It's possible. That's a lot of movies. And
That's cool.
hey, thank you everybody for tuning in, and see y'all next time.